Welcome to our exploration of 11 influential philosophers who have shaped our understanding of self, knowledge, and existence. From Socrates' probing questions to Kant's complex ideas on morality, each thinker has contributed unique insights to the field of philosophy. Join us as we delve into the lives and ideas of these remarkable philosophers, uncovering how their legacies continue to impact our lives today. Socrates, circa 470 to 399 BCE. He was an influential ancient Greek philosopher from Athens known for the Socratic method, which involved questioning to challenge beliefs and promote critical thinking. He emphasized that knowledge leads to virtue, famously stating that an examined life is not worth living. Socrates highlighted the importance of self-examination and the pursuit of truth for a virtuous life, proposing that the soul is the true essence of a person. His ideas influenced later philosophical thought on personal identity and morality, continuing to inspire discussions on ethics and the role of philosophy in society. Plato, circa 427 to 347 BCE. He was a Greek philosopher, student of Socrates, and teacher of Aristotle, significantly shaping Western philosophy. He founded the Academy in Athens, one of the first institutions of higher learning. Best known for his theory of forms, which claims the physical world reflects a higher reality of abstract forms. His works, such as The Republic, discuss justice, politics, and advocate for philosopher kings. Plato emphasized that the true essence of the self is the soul, which seeks knowledge and self-realization through reason and reflection.
Saint Augustine was a theologian and philosopher of Berber origin and the bishop of Hippo Regius in Emilia-Roman, North Africa. His writings influenced the development of Western philosophy and Western Christianity, and he is viewed as one of the most important church fathers of the Latin Church in the patristic period. His many important works include The City of God, on Christian doctrine and confession. René Descartes was a French philosopher, scientist, and mathematician, widely considered a seminal figure in the emergence of modern philosophy and science. Mathematics was paramount to his method of inquiry, and he connected the previously separate fields of geometry and algebra into analytic geometry. Descartes spent much of his working life in the Dutch Republic, initially serving the Dutch State's army and later became a central intellectual of the Dutch Golden Age. Although he served a Protestant state and was later counted as a deist by critics, Descartes was Roman Catholic.
John Locke was born on August 29, 1632 in Rington, Somerset, England. Died on October 28, 1704 in Highlaver, Essex. He is a philosopher and a physician and one of the most influential Enlightenment thinkers in the Age of Enlightenment or the Age of Reason, and was an intellectual and philosophical movement that dominated the ideas in Europe during the 18th century. John Locke believed that the self is identified with consciousness, and this self consists of sameness of consciousness, meaning that the self consists of memory, that the person existing now is the same person yesterday because he/she remembers the thoughts, experiences, or actions of the earlier self. John Locke asserted that the human mind at birth is tabula rasa, or blank slate. He felt that self is constructed primarily from sense experiences. David Hume is a Scottish philosopher, economist, and historian during the Age of Enlightenment. He was born on May 8 or April 26 Old Style in 1711 Edinburgh, Scotland, and died on August 25, 1776 in Edinburgh. He is a fierce opponent of Descartes' rationalism, or the theory that reason rather than experience, and is the foundation of all knowledge. He is an empiricist, or one can only know what comes from the senses and experiences.
Immanuel Kant, the seventh philosopher. Let's talk about Immanuel Kant's idea of the self. According to Kant, The self is the interaction between the mind and body. It's not just the brain or the body alone, but how they work together. This self, part of us, interprets our experiences and shapes how we see the world. Essentially, our ego is formed through how we understand and process these experiences. Sigmund Freud. Next, the eighth philosopher. Sigmund Freud divided the self into three elements: the id, the ego, and the superego. The idea represents our basic instincts, our wants and needs. The superego is our moral compass, the part that knows right from wrong. In between these two is the ego, which is responsible for balancing our desires and morals. This ongoing struggle between what we want, what we know is right, and how we handle it shapes who we are.
Gilbert Ryle, who was born on August 1900, in Brighton and Hove, United Kingdom, who later died on October 6, 1976, in the age of 76 years old. He was a philosopher and a professor who wrote The Concept of Mind in 1949, where he rejected the notion that mental states are separable from physical states. Ryle rejected the idea that the mind and body are separate. He believed the self is not some ghost in the body, but is shown through our actions. For him, what we do is what makes us who we are. Paul Churchland, who was born on October 21, 1942, in Vancouver, Canada. He is a philosopher and a professor known for his studies in neurophilosophy and the philosophy of the mind. His philosophy stands on a materialistic view, or the belief that nothing but matter exists. He also assumed eliminative materialism, or the claim that people's common sense understanding of the mind or folk psychology is false, and that certain classes of mental states which most people believe in do not exist. He also asserted that the sense of self originated from the brain itself, and that this self is a product of electrochemical signals produced by the brain. Maurice Merleau-Ponty was born on March 14, 1908, in Rochefort, and later died on May 3, 1961, in the age of 53 years old, in Paris, France. He was a philosopher and author who emphasized the body as a primary site of knowing the world. He also asserted that human beings are embodied subjectivities, and that the understanding of the self should begin from this fundamental fact. And for him, the body acts what the mind perceives as a unified one. And lastly, he believed the self cannot be separated from the body. He emphasizes that we experience the world through our body, so the body and the mind are one. For him, the self is shaped by how we interact with the world physically and mentally. In a bustling modern city, a young woman named Maria often felt lost amid the noise and distractions of daily life. One day, she stumbled upon an old bookstore and discovered a dusty copy of Plato's The Republic. Intrigued, she began reading about his theory of forms and the concept of the philosopher king. As she absorbed Plato's ideas, Maria started to reflect on her own life. She realized that her pursuit of material success often overshadowed her deeper values and aspirations. Inspired by Plato's belief that true knowledge comes from within and transcends the physical world, she began to seek experiences that nurtured her soul, like engaging in meaningful conversations and pursuing her passion for art. Maria's transformation highlighted the relevance of Plato's philosophy
in contemporary life. By striving for a deeper understanding of herself and her place in the world, she embodied the essence of the philosopher's teachings. This journey encouraged her to foster connections and seek wisdom, reminding her that the pursuit of truth and virtue remains vital in navigating the complexities of modern existence. Through Maria's story, we see that Plato's insights are not just ancient musings, but powerful tools for personal growth and social harmony in today's world.